So we're live over in YouTube Shorts, and we are also live here, on regular YouTube as well. So I think everything's working. We are going to see as we progress through this. So if this is your first time here, what we're doing is we are looking at YouTube channels, and we're giving feedback on things that, that you can do to just improve. I've been doing YouTube for a really long time, almost 11 years now. And I've also worked with a ton of other content creators as well. And I've also just helped tons of creators. So because of that, I have just a lot of experience as a content creator. So when I look at your channel, I'm just trying to follow best practices and give you some tips on things that you might be able to do to make everything better. Now, as a part of this, it's all completely free. So you don't have to super chat or do any of that stuff. We're just hanging out, looking at your channel, and seeing what we can do to help you improve along the way. Now, of course, as a part of this, I do have an app that I put out recently that I'm going to be mentioning throughout the stream. You're going to see it on the graphics throughout the stream and all of that stuff. So, all of that stuff is going to happen. However, in terms of, what you need to do, all you have to do to participate is here in just a moment. I'm going to put a image up on the screen, and that image is going to have a word on it. And when that word shows up, all you have to do is type it into the chat. And when you type it into the chat, then what's going to happen is this tool that I'm using is going to randomly select somebody from the chat. Now, keep in mind, if you are watching on the short shelf, right? If you're watching in the vertical feed right now, I do want to let you know the tool that I'm currently using, it's only pulling, because I can only pull it from one stream at this moment in time. I'm going to work on that. But I can only pull it from one thing. So because of that, it's pulling from the main live stream. So what I'm going to do, just so you can go over there and drop it into that live stream if need be, is I'm just going to tell you to, if you can, click on my channel name if you're watching in the vertical feed right now. Head over to the main channel, and then you're going to need to put the word that I put up on the screen. You're going to need to put it in the chat. So it's a little bit clunky, but it's how we get it done so that we can, get everybody involved, even those of you that are watching over in the vertical feed. So if you're ready to get this party started, then we're just going to go ahead and get it rolling here. So the very first word, of course, that we are going to do is Niminati. So all you have to do is put the word Niminati into the chat. And once you do that, you're going to see that it's going to start collecting the entries right down here at the bottom of the screen. So again, this is completely free to you. And by putting this word into the chat, you are saying to me that, yes, it is perfectly okay. Maybe I should do it that way. There we go. Saying that, hey, it is perfectly okay for me to pull up your YouTube channel, give you some feedback, and, let you know things that, you might be able to do to improve. So I'm just going to let a few of these entries come in. I'm not sure how many people that we have watching right now, because I'm using a completely different system than what I'm used to. So my whole workflow is different right now. And I'm just trying to figure out really in real time here how to use this new software. And by the way, I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but if you haven't used Meld yet, so far it's really cool. So that's what I'm using in terms of, getting all the layouts together and being able to multicast to, the different, sides of YouTube and all of that stuff. But again, if you are watching in the vertical feed, make sure that you do put that word into the chat of the main stream over on the main channel in order to get it pulled up. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and pick a winner. And then once we pick this winner, in case this is your first time here, what we do is we will go and we will pull up this person's YouTube channel, and we are going to give them some tips. So let's see here. So next we are going to go to here, and then we're going to hop over to here, and we're going to hop on YouTube, and we're going to find this channel. So previously, and I hope this is the right channel here for Bonnie. So previously, the tool that I was using, I could just, go and find the channel. And I guess I can do it this way too if I see them here in the chat. Let's see. I'm just going to look for it here really quick. So if you are Bonnie GT, just say me so I can make sure that we've got the right channel pulled up here. And then we will go ahead and get you sorted once I just confirm that I got the right channel here. Okay, I'm looking at it. So I see your channel. You're good. Okay, so I see it. Here we go. Okay, so the very first thing that we are going to look at here, first let me get my cursor up, is the channel itself. So right out of the gate, you definitely need to, like, if we're not playing sudden death right now, but if we were, then you would definitely need to, you would have, you know, lost sudden death right out of the gate. So we have this game that we play and we go through this checklist, right? And with that checklist, we have best practices throughout that checklist, and we just make sure that you're following YouTube's best practices. And the very first thing on the list is that you have custom channel art, and that channel art is optimized for all the different devices. So as you can see, you know, it's not a requirement, so to speak. However, it's just something that, you know, lets people know that you take your channel seriously. In situations like this, you know, this tells me that, like, you're not quite there yet. So because of that, I'm going to move on to a different channel. But one thing that I do want to tell you is that when it comes to, like, your thumbnails and your titles as well, I would definitely kind of work on what it is that you're doing. Try to, you know, make some of this a little bit more compelling. I mean, you do have some people, you know, clicking on some of these videos, which is great. But just as a whole, like, these thumbnails don't really say much to people in terms of what they can expect from your, what they can expect from your YouTube channel. So we're going to do this again. And on this one, we are going to put in the word new creator. We can make it all one word, because I'm sure there's a lot of new creators here, but also I have an app called New Creator. You can find it for yourself at newcreator.app. It's an app that I made for YouTube content creators, helps you test your thumbnails, make excellent titles, helps you do all kinds of stuff around your YouTube channel. You can find out more about that at newcreator.app, but it's available in the App Store as well. So you can just go look for it in the App Store also if you have an iPhone. The desktop version and the Android version are on the way. They're just not available yet because I'm making all this stuff myself. So I have to, you know, just kind of do things as I do them and get them out as I get them out. so because of that, you know, do that. And also I do, and I'll just give you just another minute here to get this into the chat. So for those of you that are watching in the vertical feed, make sure that you click on my channel name, go to the main live stream that's happening on the channel, and put in your the new creator word there. And the reason for that is because this tool that I'm using is only able to pull it from one stream. So I have it pulling from that stream at this moment in time. So make sure that you do that. But the thing that I do want to remind you of, though, is this is completely free. As a content creator, you don't have to super chat, anything like that. All you got to do is put this word in the chat. When you do so, it gives me permission to, you know, pull up your channel, give you some tips, all of that good stuff. So we're going to go ahead and pick a winner and see how it goes. Build with Mooney, what's going on, my dude? Hope you're doing fantastic. Thank you for the member messages there. Hope you are doing great. All right, so here we go. And while I'm pulling this up, man, I don't know if you guys have played with Nano Banana yet, but I'm making a video about it. It is absolutely mind-blowing. So Google just put out this thing. It's called Nano Banana. And with Nano Banana, Arkansas unearthed. Let me just kind of see what's going on here. Okay, the photo. Okay, just making sure this is you. Okay, here we go. Yeah, but really quick, like with that Nano Banana. So it's a Google product, right? And you might have heard of like Google VO by now. If not, you definitely should check that out too. But with the Nano Banana, I'm putting out a video on it because if you make thumbnails and you have trouble making thumbnails, this thing is completely out of control. So I just posted an image over on X, just, you know, saying that my mind was blown from this. And I'm just going to see if I have anything in my camera roll that I can show you here really quick in terms of what this generated. It is absolutely mind blowing. And I'm heading the wrong way here with this, but basically, you know, I have a thumbnail. No, I don't have it in here. But I have a thumbnail that I put, or an image that I typically use in my thumbnails. I do have an image here. or not typically, but it's on one of my videos where I'm just sitting there just like this, right, in this environment. And all I did was I took that image and then I dropped it into this tool. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this or not, but basically through iteration, I put myself in a music studio as well as a bunch of other environments. This is just one of the examples, but it was able to put text on the background, change the ceiling to like a paneling type of thing, put a big gold rope around my neck, change the color of my hoodie, like all kinds of crazy stuff. But if you struggle with thumbnails, that tool I think is going to like right now you're in a great spot in life if if you struggle with thumbnails, because tools like that are going to be able to help you considerably. Okay, so let's get back on track. So when it comes to Arkansas Unearthed, let's see here, discovering a hidden treasures, one rock at a time. All of that is cool. That makes me think that basically you are you're out, digging this stuff out of the ground, which is great. Okay, so you're optimized for TVs, which is awesome. Okay, so let's look and give you some tips on what it is that you're doing. So the very first thing that I want to bring to your attention is if you are publishing long form content on a regular basis, which you are, we can see that right down here at the bottom. So if you are publishing long form videos on a regular basis, I would not try to bleed viewers over into YouTube Shorts. Like, we already know that YouTube is doing everything they can to try to get people over into YouTube Shorts right now, and you do not want to participate in that from your main YouTube channel. This is just a minor thing, isn't going to move the needle for you or anything, but just something I want you to think about for everybody here when it comes to this, is when you are publishing your videos to YouTube, and you have somebody that's really engaged in what it is that you're doing, like, wow, this is great. And they click on your channel page and they start scrolling down and they're looking for more from you. They see this and you might be able to capture them coming into here. And then they keep scrolling and they're like, oh, I wonder what this is. And then they click into here. Now, instead of getting them into here where you would get more watch time, more money for, each ad view, if, you're not monetized yet, but once you are, money for your, more money for each ad view, and all of that, you're sending them into content that doesn't have as much value as the long form content. Now, this is extremely important in your case because you are trying to get monetized right now, right? You got 775 subscribers. You're trying to, reach those requirements. So the last thing you want is people coming into here where they're going to watch these. We're going to get, a minute or, so worth of watch time compared to 8 minutes or 3 minutes or 11 minutes and so on, right? So I would definitely permanently, but at least for right now, I would get these off of your channel page. If somebody wants shorts from you, they can come up here and click up here, but don't let yourself distract a viewer from your long form content in order to send them into shorts. The next thing that I would do is right now, all of these things down here, all of these channel links, I would also get these off of your channel page right now too. And let me tell you why. So somebody's interacting with your channel, right? They're like, hey, these are great. They come down here and they're like, oh, wow, 217 subscribers. I bet these are, they probably make some good videos. Let me go check them out. And then they're going to click on this one, and then you may have lost them forever at that point in time, right? So this is a super cool thing to do in terms of just kind of supporting the community and all that. However, it can work against you in that regard, one viewer at a time, right? So I would definitely get all of that sorted as well. Knack Attack said they abandoned their old gaming channel. All right. Yeah, Q-Man says they're working on their watch time also. Yeah, that is cool. So, okay, so next up, let's go into your actual videos tab and talk about the important stuff. So I think what you're doing with this thumbnail is fantastic because you put a really clear focus on the rock itself. So somebody that's interested in this type of content, this is going to be the thing that grabs their attention. Now, one thing that I want to just bring to your attention is if you look at this thumbnail, and this thumbnail, all of these have 1,000 views plus. Then you look at this one that you threw right in the middle. This one's got 235. So a couple things that we can pick from this is that, one, these rocks definitely, will grab somebody's attention, pull them into the actual content itself, which is great. Number two, topically, you're winning on these. And then here, this is a 2 years of Arkansas Unearthed, why rock hounding is amazing in Arkansas, okay? So a couple things we're going to pick apart with this. So the very first thing that I want to bring to your attention here is that when it comes to 2 years of Arkansas Unearthed, this matters to you and the closest people in your community, the people that are like, you know, coming in, watching every video, you know, stuff like that. This only matters to them. And it's okay. This might be what you're making it for, but I would save this type of thing right now and just focus on making sure that everything that you put out is a perfect fit for the people that are watching your type of content, so that everything serves them. And I'm going to explain why that's important here in a second. But when it comes to this, a couple of things I want to bring to your attention as well is right here, you have why rock hounding is amazing in Arkansas. But the very first thing that you're leveraging here is the 2 years of Arkansas Unearthed. And this only matters to people if they've already interacted with the channel, if they're already watching your content, things like that. That's what this matters for. For somebody that's new and that's never been exposed to your content, they don't know who you are yet, they don't even know what type of content you make, anything like that. For those people, this doesn't mean anything. So when you are making videos, first, you want to make sure that you are focusing everything on what the viewers themselves care about, right? And then after that, if you choose to, then putting something maybe related to the channel, if it was, you know, putting the channel name there, some type of, you know, celebratory message or something like that, that's where you would put that type of information. So the best practice for everybody here, the best practice, we're going to come back to your channel here in a second, but the best practice when it comes to YouTube is you want to make sure that you are thinking about if somebody is looking around YouTube and they log into YouTube's, you know, homepage, or they're looking around YouTube and they're watching stuff and they see my video show up next to another video on YouTube, what about my thumbnail and title is going to, one, help them identify that this video is about something that they might care about, and two, what about the package with my thumbnail and title is also going to compel them to click? And when you throw in interruptive things like this, right, when you put this first, or you make the whole video about that, then it kind of removes, you know, your ability to connect with the people that you're actually trying to reach, right? So definitely focus more on like the rock imagery. That seems to be working well with you or for you. And another thing that I would do also as a part of that, excuse me, another thing I would do as a part of that is even with this, right? So I have another tool. I don't have it on this computer right now. But basically that tool also has a different thing. So like I have this option here to where you can kind of zoom in, but the other tool, it actually shows it at a small size too. I just don't have it available right now. But the reason I was going to show you that is because at a smaller size, if this shows up in suggested videos, the rock, if you compare this rock to this rock and this rock, and this looks more like a hand, or maybe at a small size, they're not going to be able to see. I mean, we'll just zoom out. We'll do it the old fashioned way here. See if we can zoom out a little bit. So like, let's say like that suggested video size, right? Then in that case, you know, it's kind of difficult to see what that is. Like, is it a bug? Is it a rock? Is it, you know, like a piece of something? Like, what is it? So because of that, I would also experiment with, if you have time to put it together, but I would run YouTube's A/B testing tool, and I would just zoom in more on this rock as well, and just, you know, see if it makes a difference, right? It might not, but I would do that just to see if it makes a difference. One thing also is I like some of these where you have the text in the thumbnail. It seems that some of them it's worked well, some of them it's starting to work. And then you have some where with no text that it's working perfectly fine. But one thing that I would do with every video that you upload, in your case specifically, is I would have one thumbnail like this with no text at all. And then I would have one with some type of supportive text like you have on these, something, you know, ancient, the millions of years in the making, you know, that type of, you know, thing that seems to be working well. And just use that to see if people, you know, with every video, which one people respond best to. In terms of, you know, text or no text. And I would do that on a per video basis. And the reason I would do it on a per video basis with what you're doing specifically is because if we look at some of these rocks, some of it's obvious, some of it is, you know, it's obvious, but, you know, that text might help a little bit in terms of making it a little bit more compelling or interesting. So because of that, I would just experiment with that if you're not doing that already. And then here, this is another one. to where, and this is older, so you're kind of past this now. But this is another one to where instead of having that graphic thumbnail, maybe just changing this thumbnail to, maybe a screenshot of something else that's going in there or something like that. And then maybe if you're going to put text on there, just put like fossil and then like a little arrow pointing to it or something like that. Right. And then you're able to express that same idea, but with more of a focus on the imagery itself. So I would definitely take that approach when it comes to what it is that you're doing there. And then I'm just going to take a quick look into this video. And one more thing that I do want to bring to your attention also, because I'm just looking at something here really quick down the bottom, but we'll do it up here first, is another thing to think about. And adding the Arkansas part is fine. I guess that's the name of the rock itself. But for some of the content, if you broaden it up just to people that are interested in fossils by themselves, that location, might be beneficial for you. But I would also test a little bit with am I going to lock this into Arkansas every time? Or should I, try to broaden it up a little bit and make it more about, fossils and old rocks in general, right? So I would just consider that, maybe experiment with that a little bit and see if it makes a difference or not. The other thing I want to bring to your attention is down here. So when it comes to YouTube, a lot of people undervalue video descriptions. And the reason they undervalue video descriptions is because they think that a lot of people don't go down to the video descriptions, and it's true. Video descriptions, you usually have to prompt people to go down there, or there has to be something to where they're really into the content and they go down there looking for more information and things like that. So because of that, for the people that are really engaged in what it is that you're doing, that are looking for more information, you want to put more links down here to other videos that the person that watched this video might enjoy. So as they're down in your video description and they're, just kind of checking things out, you're also directly recommending other content to them that they might be interested in. And then by doing that, you're just making it easy for people to find more of the content that, that they enjoy from you. And then same exact thing here with your pinned comment. Make sure that you're pinning comments on your videos. And the reason that you want to make sure that you're doing that is because if you pin comments, same thing. The engaged people, right? Casual people, not so much, but the people that are really engaged, as they go down to the comment section, you're like, hey, if you enjoyed this, I got a whole playlist of these right here for this area or this type of rock or whatever the thing is. And then you can say, check it out here. And then by doing that, you simply add that little blurb of text on however you're going to, present that link. And then you put the link to that video or playlist here. And then once you post it on your view, if you click on the 3-dot menu after you make the comment, in your view, you're going to have a little option right here that says pin comment. And then by doing that, it's going to give that comment priority in your comment section. And then people are going to be able to, use it to click and find more content of yours that they enjoy. Okay, and you're using end screens and stuff already, which is fantastic. Okay. So yeah, just a few things there to hopefully help you out. Hopefully that helped you in some way. And as you'll see here also, this is just important for everybody that's watching right now, is you can see how the community posts are showing up here on channel pages now as well. Some people are putting them there. I think some of it might actually be default, because I mentioned it to one person. They're like, I didn't do that. So I'm not sure, if somebody else did or what. But this is also a really great opportunity to, just have additional things there to just show people that your channel's active and, that kind of stuff. So currently, like as soon as they did this, I started going daily. So I'm putting out community posts like every single day on my YouTube channel. Okay, so if you're just joining the stream, Savvy Tech Tips here, they said, how do I get a channel review? So how this works, and Savvy, just because you asked, we are going to just put Savvy. Oop, no, that's not the word. We're going to put Savvy here in the chat. And all you have to do is, if you want your channel reviewed, is you put this word into the chat in this tool that I'm using right now. It's going to randomly select people that put that word into the chat. So basically it's going to queue up right here, as you can see happening at the bottom of the screen. And then I'm going to hit pick a winner, and then it's going to take it from there. All right. So really quick, just while we're waiting for, everybody to, get that into the chat, I do want to let you know that I published an app recently called New Creator. It's an app for YouTube content creators, really cool. It's got like home screen widgets on it. Here, I'll just show it to you real quick. You can see I got like a home screen widget right up here at the top. And this widget just keeps me on top of like content that, that I need to publish and that kind of stuff. If you swipe over, you can also see there's, like more, down here as well on that extra screen. But, as a part of this, it'll help you write better titles, helps you stay up to date with like creator news. It has a place to store and organize all your video ideas. You can test your thumbnails and get feedback on your thumbnails, all kinds of really helpful tools for you as a content creator. So if you haven't checked it out yet, you can go to newcreator.app. I got a link to it in the description. I got a link to it at the top of the chat on the main stream. Or you can just type in newcreator.app, or you can look for it in the App Store. So make sure that you check that out. All right, so here we go. Enchanting Tales Podcast is the channel that we are going to pull up now. And I'm just going to do a quick look here and see if I can find them. Enchanting Tales, Enchanting Tales, Enchanting Tales, where are you at? Okay, Enchanting Tales. All right, we're just gonna hop on YouTube and look for it. We're gonna do it that way. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, so the first thing that I looked for here, because you are a podcaster, is I did look here to make sure that you are publishing shorts. So shorts is a great way to bring attention to your podcasts, because when it comes to podcasts on YouTube, they tend to be a little bit longer, not YouTube, but anywhere. They tend to be a little bit longer. And because of that, when you make content in shorts that is shorter, it makes some of the content a little bit more accessible, brings attention to your show to people that might not have actually clicked on it because you just pop up in the feed and you're there. So that's just a really good way to just kind of get the word out about your podcast, because podcasts are challenging when it comes to bringing attention to them if you don't already have, a following of some kind. But a few things that I want to bring to your attention is, one, the text on these, like this is just way too much. So from a best practices standpoint, when it comes to YouTube, you want to make your thumbnails simple and easy to understand. Right now, you're focusing on the two guests. You have podcast here in the middle. You got the name of the show here. You got everybody's name on here. You have the title here, which is what this is for. And then you have, a bunch of other information here. So the thing that you want to think about here is the very first thing is that for suggested videos, this is going to be it's going to be impossible for people to actually read what's on here. So when it comes to the thumbnail, I want you to think of your thumbnails like, a cereal box, or like a advertisement on a billboard as you're driving down the highway, or something like that. It's something where, if you're walking down the aisle, it needs to grab your attention. If it's the cereal box, if it's a billboard, you're driving down the street, so they have to keep it big, bold, and simple with imagery and things that are going to grab your attention, so that as you're driving, you can take a quick look and see what it is without having to, sit there and read, a whole bunch of stuff. So when it comes to your thumbnails, the approach that you want to take is, for the imagery, what can I use to help people that we're trying to reach with this show about myths, and it looks like, like fantasy type stuff. What type of imagery can we use to help people that are interested in this topic connect with this and be able to identify that this entire show is about something that they're already interested in, right? So I think what you're doing with shorts is a step in the right direction. I think some of the images, with AI and stuff, like you definitely have a lot of testing that you can do. But when it comes to this particular approach, I would abandon, this type of thumbnail approach immediately. And a lot of people take this approach from a branding perspective, and they're like, hey, this is my branded look. This is the template that I'm using and stuff like that. Because you're just getting started, I would not make that commitment right now. What I would be doing right now is I would make every thumbnail relatively different or wildly different. and I would use that as a way to start to try to figure out what it is that people respond to, because right now this isn't cutting it. So because of that, for all the videos that you're publishing, I would definitely make sure that you are experimenting with your thumbnails. But when it comes to this, though, another thing to think about here is you have overcoming writer's block and imposter syndrome. That's actually good. So with this title, overcoming writer's block and imposter syndrome, here, this might be a good one to where, maybe you add a bar or a hyphen or something like that, or you just come up with a better sentence. And it's like, how we overcame writer's block and imposter syndrome, so you can too, right? So then that way, it's going to get truncated just a little bit here on suggested videos, but we have that'll still show up. So then you have the you thing in there. But I would definitely, consider that type of thing too, in terms of like how we overcame. Oh, there we go. That makes it shorter. How we overcame writer's block and imposter syndrome. So you can too. It's still getting in there. But the idea is to just try to kind of fill it out a little bit more, make it a little bit about the viewer, and tell just like a little bit more, make the title a little bit more impactful, right? Because the whole thing, again, is you're trying to grab their attention with this and get them to click with this, right? So thumbnail grabs attention and sometimes gets them to click, but thumbnail's job is to grab their attention. Title is to get them to click. The thumbnail and title work together as a team to win a click, okay? So because of that, I would definitely just get to work on your thumbnails and trying to come up with some good stuff there. And I'm just going to take a quick look here and see, are you in like a studio? Oh, you're just doing an image too. Okay, yeah, so like this type of thing, another thing that I would do if you can, and I know not everybody is comfortable with this, but one thing that I would definitely do, this is great, by the way, this little block that you have down here, but one thing that I would definitely do here is I would, if you can, because 2025 YouTube is not, 10 YouTube, I would definitely get like you guys on camera, right? So then like you're on camera, saying your thing, the other person's on camera saying their thing, for YouTube. If you are, just reliant on like, the YouTube music section for your podcast, and you're just putting your podcast up on like Apple Music and Spotify and things like that, then it doesn't matter. But if you're going to be taking the approach of actually uploading them as video content on YouTube, do what you like. But I can't recommend enough the power of putting yourself on camera and letting people get to know you and your guests through what it is that they're seeing. So because of that, I would experiment with that if you're open to it. Okay, so for those of you that are just joining us, what we're doing is we are looking at YouTube channels. So we're looking at YouTube channels, giving some tips on, things that people can do to, improve. And all you have to do to participate, you don't have to super chat, you don't have to do any of that stuff. All you have to do is put your name, or not your name, put the word that I put up on the screen here in just a second. It defaults to this, but we are going to do podcast is going to be our word now. So put podcast up on the screen, and then, or put it into the chat, I mean. And as you put that into the chat, this tool is going to start collecting them, as you can see right now. And then what we're going to do is once this gets up to, a handful of entries, then we are going to pick a winner, and it's going to randomly select somebody. So so all you have to do is put your, put that word into the chat, and then it'll take it from there. And then we'll just let just a few more come through. Savvy Tech Tips says, how are you streaming in 9:16 and 16:9 at the same time? I'm using a tool called Meld, M-E-L-D. It's like, it's not brand new, but it's like a newer software. It's completely free. I'm in their Reddit community. I know Harris Heller ended up mentioning it. and I checked it out that time, but I was just, you know, checking it out because it just came out. And then after that, I just happened to run across a Reddit post of theirs from their Reddit community. And I went in there and, you know, they just seem really, like the developers seem really supportive of the tool, really supportive of the community. They're making content. So they're also, you know, content creators. Like, you know, they're doing the thing. So I was like, hey, let me give this a shot for these channel review streams so I can kind of put it out on both and just kind of see how people respond. I'm not sure if this is the best content for the vertical feed, if I'm honest. Like it's good for just, you know, kind of being able to consume it that way if you want, but I'm not, like, you can't really see all the details. So what I'm wanting to do with this is, one, see if people respond to it in the vertical feed, because, you know, I know that, you know, people enjoy it in the regular format, but I'm just wanting to see if people enjoy it in the vertical feed, and if so, I'll keep doing it. But if not, then you know, then you know, this will be the only one that we do in the vertical feed. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and hit this and get this party rolling. Urban Van Life, my man, what is happening? Hope you are doing great. Great and fantastic. Okay, so we got Knack Attack. Okay, let's see what's going on here with Knack Attack. Okay, so here we go. Knack Attack. Hope this is you. 9038, 9038. Yep, okay, look, this looks like you. Okay, so here we go. So you do Call of Duty Mobile and you do War Robots. So this is all fine. You know, it just says, you know, what it is that you do. I have a graphic design background, so for me, there's some changes that I would definitely make here. But, you know, they're not necessary. So I'm just going to say this is okay because it lets people know that you do, you know, Call of Duty and War of Robots content, which is cool. So next thing is I'm going to look at your channel, and it looks like you've got 72 videos, but as you can see here, we only can see a handful of them here on your channel page. So the next thing that I would do, and the whole idea behind this, it's not something that moves the needle for your channel and makes your channel blow up, but what it does do is it makes it easier for viewers to watch more of your videos. And if people watch more of your videos, you're increasing the likelihood of YouTube recommending your content to them when you publish it. And if they have a good experience with it and they have a satisfied experience and YouTube detects that, then it also increases the likelihood that they're going to show them your new videos, and they're going to show them some videos for your archive as well. And hopefully they'll, you know, come in and watch those too. So, so first we're going to go to your videos tab here. Cage match. Okay. So here, oh wait, 5 years ago. Oh, okay. You're not even uploading content. Okay. So, so we will get out of this one. I thought you were still, yeah, I thought you were uploading still, but it looks like 5 years ago is your latest upload. So we're going to bring that down, and we will get somebody else in here. All right. So what we are doing here, if you're just joining us, is we're looking at YouTube channels, giving feedback. And right here, what we are going to, or all you have to do is I'm going to put a word here called upload more. It's 2 words, actually. So all you have to do is just put this into the chat. And then as you start putting that word into the chat, this tool is going to go ahead and just start collecting those entries, and it's going to randomly select somebody. Let me just put that message here on the screen as well. So all I have to do is put upload more into the chat. And as you put that in there, this tool is going to collect it. This is all completely free for you. All you got to do is put the word there, and then this tool is going to randomly select somebody. And then it's going to, you know, we're going to pull that channel up and look at it. And then, you know, by putting your, you know, name in here, or by putting that word in here, you are saying like, hey, Nick, yeah, totally cool. If you pull my channel up, no worries. I won't get offended by the advice or anything like that. Just, you know, feel free to, you know, pull it up. Okay, so we're just waiting for just a couple more. Make sure everybody has time to get this in here. Yeah, so already right out of the gate, just for some feedback for everybody, just in case you've been here the whole time, is yeah, it looks like the vertical stream. Yeah, it doesn't seem, I'm going to leave it up for this stream, but it doesn't look like this is, you know, widely accepted over there. Okay, so here we go. Pick a winner. Boom. All right, here we go. Oops, wrong button. There we go. And let's see here. Somebody asked how I'm doing the channel review thing. So basically, man, I just saw that up here, but it got lost in all the upload mores. But basically it's delayed. Oh, interesting. Oh, you know what? I wonder if the stream settings are different. Oh, I bet they are. You know what? I bet the latency, it is. I have that one on normal latency and then the other one's on low. Yep. Thank you for that. Yep. You know what? I'll test it one more time with that all matched up. Okay. So, yeah, so we're going to take this and then I'm going to hop on YouTube and pull this up. Okay, expats on the go. Expat, okay, fantastic. And here we go. Okay, so the channel review thing. So basically for the tool that I use right here, I built this. Here it's just a browser extension. So basically if you go to a live stream with this extension and then you hit this little button right up here at the top, then it launches this. Basically it opens the browser in a new window and then it pops open the chat over here. And then all it's doing is overlaying the chat and it's reading the chat in the background. And then you know the thing that's built into it allows me to just select somebody randomly. And in terms of like the overlay stuff, you know, like these things and, you know, the cursors and, you know, that kind of stuff. That's also, you know, something that, you know, just, yeah, I built it. So I built the app that's on the screen right now. Got another free app called Creator Keyboard. Got a browser extension called Tab Stacks that I just put out recently. And I'm making something right now that's going to be free for everybody. And I'm taking the approach of bring your own API key. So basically, the reason that a lot of these companies charge you for their products is because one, you know, they have to work on them, but two, because they have to keep the API key under control because YouTube only lets you have so many. So the API key is basically a connection directly to YouTube. And they only let you have so many, you know, things coming out of YouTube before they cap it off. So if you bring your own API key, then all you have to do is you just put it into the tool that I'm making, and then that allows you to use it as much as you want to, and then you'll be able to stay way under the limit because you're using it, you know, personally. And it has some of these tools in it as well, to where you can compare thumbnails and, you know, things like that. And it also has a dashboard to where it has, like, you can have your channel info showing on the screen. It's got like a to-do list in there, world clocks. It's got like a feed for creator news and resources. It's got another feed for competitors. So, you know, if you have channels that you're monitoring, you can put those channels in there. And then whenever they upload a new video, it's going to pop up in there for you, so you can know when people are uploading videos and how they're performing, that kind of stuff. Really cool tool. It gives you like a sidebar where you can see people's like upload cadence and like all kinds of cool stuff. But it'll probably be another month before that comes out. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, okay, so expats on the go, living abroad, traveling far, and embracing the journey. Weekly videos. So right now I'm guessing that this is a vlog based on, you know, how you're presenting this up here at the top. And as we scroll down, let's see what it is that you have going on. Expat scam survival guide, a new food spot, and big changes in wherever that is. How to start digital nomad life in 2020. Okay, so so one thing that I would definitely do is, and this is just a minor thing, again, any channel specific stuff isn't necessarily going to, you know, like be a big deal, but like when it comes to and by channel specific, I mean channel homepage specific. But one thing that I would definitely do up here is, instead of just living abroad, traveling far, and embracing the journey, I would say living abroad and like helping others do the same, or something like that, because of some of the content that you're putting out, right? Like how to start your digital nomad life, expat scam survival guide. So basically the content isn't in perfect alignment with the value proposition, is what I'm getting at. So just some food for thought there in terms of, you know, just kind of dialing in what it seems like you're offering when somebody first lands on your channel page. But in terms of best practices, you're doing great here. You know, in terms of, you know, hey, these are my most recent videos. That's fantastic that you've made the custom playlist. So for everybody watching this, there's something that you can do. Yeah, you can just wait. It's fine. You don't have to super chat for this. We're just randomly selecting them. Basically, we're going to get to a point in the stream here. Once this channel's done, to where I'm going to put a word up on the screen. You just put that word into the chat. And once you put that word into the chat, then the tool that I have is just randomly select somebody. But basically, for anybody that's watching this right here, what she's doing is really smart. So basically, this is a custom playlist. So instead of having just your default most recent videos that YouTube gives you as your playlist, when you do something like this, one, you can you can customize the message, give additional information there in terms of what's in here, just like she's doing right now with the latest episodes. But you can also control what goes in here. So for example, this is all videos. If you look at mine on my channel, because I live stream as well, so at the top of mine, it's like my most recent video content, because that's what I want people to see. I don't want that most recent content list being polluted with any live streams or shorts or anything like that. So because of that, that's a really good move. And really quick, Knack Attack. Yeah, I can only build one thing at a time. So I did the iPhone version first, then the web app is coming. And then after the web app, and I'm almost done with the web app. And then after the web app is done, then I'm making the Android version. But I agree, it's totally lame. But I can only do so much, right? I can only do so much so fast. So so just give me time. Hold on, give me time. But as we scroll down here, I love also that you are breaking the content down into all of these different playlists, so that people can say, hey, I want to look at the Polish culture content. I want to look at just travel and adventure stuff. I want to look at additional, things here about, maybe going back to the US or whatever those are. So I think the approach that you're taking there on presenting everything is great on the channel page. But one thing that I would do is I would get these off of here. So you're going to hear me just continue to say that throughout this stream. But basically, I would get these off of here and let people find your shorts here instead. And then by doing that, what you're doing is you're making it to where you can just focus everybody on going into the long form content from here. Because if you click on this, right, and if somebody's watching your shorts, and this flow is the same on a computer and on a mobile device, but if somebody's watching your shorts and then they click on your channel name to find out more, then you can see here it takes them to a shorts page, right? So because of that, you don't have to worry about sending people to your shorts from here, because then they'll find them, naturally if they're coming in that way. And then the difference is, if I'm watching one of these long form videos and then I click on your channel name here, then it brings me to your channel page, right? So then this way, if I'm interested in shorts, I can just navigate this way and go find more of your shorts. But if I'm on your channel page and I'm one of those viewers, like I am personally, to where I go down and I'm looking around like, hey, what do they have? All that stuff. Then you don't want to lose me here, right? Because then you're going to get less watch time from me, at least in the immediate. You're going to get less watch time from me. Any ad views that I get here are going to not be worth as much. I mean, I'm a premium user, but even with that, it's not going to, you're not going to make as much money off of me here as you will from the videos up here. So I would definitely get those off of there. Now let's talk about the important stuff. And hey, really quick, super chat. Kato Simple, thanks for the super chat. Says, do you think we'll ever see native streaming tools like multi-stream or other ways to set yourself apart? Right now, I'm multi-streaming, so I'm streaming right now to the main, platform and to the vertical side as well. I'm doing that as we speak. But in terms of natively inside of YouTube, I'm not sure. There are things that they could do that would make everything so much easier for creators, and in the process would just devastate entire software companies if they were to do it. So they definitely have the opportunity to do it. And I think that in some cases they should do it if it makes access to their platform easier. But with that said, YouTube also focuses on things that drive revenue and things like that. And it's more about the viewers than it is us. And and by us, I mean content creators. And because of that, we need to, kind of let them, focus on that. Because, when they're focusing on making money, they're also focusing on helping us make money, right? So that's great. But when it comes to like the live streaming tools, even though they might have something that's basic and easy, if you want to do all the, cool stuff, that in graphics and things like that, that would require substantial support staff on their end to maintain that. And I'm not sure if that's something that they are, if that's something that they're after. And really quick, Doug, I didn't see that one. So let me, oops, that was close. So let me go over here and type that in over here. And really quick, Miss MZG ASMR, what's up, dude? Hope you're doing awesome. Says, is alcohol okay on stream, or do $5 super chat for shots of wine and $5 triggers? Is this okay? I don't want any issues. I wouldn't do that. So yeah, I wouldn't do that because, you know, that is off the top of my head. I can't think of the exact rule that violates, but that is definitely, it could be perceived as dangerous and harmful activity. I know there are content creators that do that sort of thing. In fact, there was a guy recently that passed away that used to do that a lot on like some of the platforms. I think he was on YouTube as well. But you're not supposed to be doing like that sort of thing. And I just can't remember off the top of my head the specific rule, you know, that you're, you know, kind of risking when you do that. So to be on the safe side, I just wouldn't put yourself in that situation. Like, you know, it'd be fun and, you know, like that kind of stuff, but I just wouldn't risk it, just because, you know, you put a lot of work into your channel, especially you've grown your channel substantially. And because of that, I would put yourself in that situation. Huh, Doug, do you happen to be on the back end of Streamzy? Yeah, if I hit the refresh button, it pops up for just a second, but it's not it's not working for some reason. So yes, I missed that one with build and fix with Mooney. So thank you for the super chat. Build and fix with Mooney. I'm trying to pull it up, but I can't find it, unfortunately. I'm scrolling up here on this window too, just to see if I can find it. Yeah, I can't. Let's see here. Reactions, timestamps. Yeah. Okay. So back on track here. We've got, okay. So here. So a few things to think about here. What no one tells you about being black abroad. Would you move abroad after this? So I think this is one where you have a really good opportunity to express yourself through some interesting imagery here, because this right here, I think, is a really powerful title itself, but I don't think this imagery really screams at expats, right? Like, I think this is, you know, like I see what you're doing there with the person like yelling at you with a megaphone, like maybe, you know, making yourself bigger, making that person bigger, putting yourself in a more natural environment instead of like the panel blue in the background or the flat blue in the background, would be something that I would experiment with here. And you might be testing these already. Hold on. Yeah, you are. You're testing these already. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, so the, like this type of background I think is good. The truth about life abroad, I think that's also good too. But just a really quick thing that I do want to bring to your attention. And on YouTube, I mean, you can break some of these rules, but it's just best practice when you are making thumbnails and you're kind of designing stuff. It can be advantageous and just kind of make everything look a little better if you do position yourself, more so about like right here, if you position yourself in like the right places in the video or in the right places in the image, right? So like with you having yourself like over here to where you're kind of centered up on this a little bit. And then that gives you the opportunity to make the text, you know, like a little bit bigger if you are going to be leveraging the text, or maybe swap this image or something depending on, you know, where this is going. But the thing I'm trying to bring to your attention is like you're just like a little bit off center, but you're not quite over, you know, like on a third. So because of that, I would either put yourself directly in the center or move yourself over just a little bit. And that's just for like a balance thing, making the image seem comfortable and, you know, that kind of stuff. Other things, and Neil, Urban Van Life here, mentioned that life abroad seems extremely vague. Would it not be better, you know, American living in Spain, for example, where you get, you know, specific like that? Grando Photo, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. But you know, maybe also like, you know, as part of your A/B tests. So, you know, you have this one, you're seeing how that one's doing. You've got the one that we just pulled up. And with that, let me open this again, you know, maybe also trying another one, and you might already be doing this too. But, you know, another one instead of like the truth about life abroad, because you are clearly targeting a group of people here when you say like what no one tells you about being black abroad. So having something just like, you know, like black with like, you know, black and abroad or something like that. So then that way you're just making that just, you know, raw connection right there. That might be something to experiment with as well. But I think what you're doing here with like the map imagery and stuff like that, I think that's good. With this is going to be impossible to notice that it's a map at you know, when it's at a really small size for suggested videos for this one. So I would definitely, you know, kind of reconsider that one. And then you also have scout first, then move. This is another one to where you have like, you know, do this before you move overseas, right? So here, one of the things that you could, you know, one of the things that you could do here instead of scout first, then move is just put like, you know, moving abroad, ? You know, and then have the map stuff, you know, like down here or something like that. Because, you know, like, again, the rule of thumb when it comes to thumbnails, Tube Spanner in the house. Super What's up, Danielle? Says, what is a YouTuber's favorite river? The live stream. Love it. I think you've done that one before, but love that. Thank you for the super chat. They're actually streaming after this stream, by the way. I'm redirecting you guys, just so you know. But basically, you know, just trying to sit back, right? Like when you make thumbnails, like one of the things that we try to do as content creators, and I'll pull your channel back up here in a second, but one of the things that we try to do as content creators is you know, like we make the thing and then, you know, maybe, you put the thumbnail together afterwards and the title. If that's your approach, I recommend that you start doing the thumbnail and title first. That's going to help you be able to kind of express everything a little bit more clearly. But we also tend to just get kind of caught up in the video itself and not put tons of thought into the thumbnails. But at the end of the day, the thumbnails can make a huge difference on the video performance. So when you sit back and you think to yourself, like, okay, if I'm trying to reach expats or people that are interested in moving abroad, what's the best way that I could do that? So through imagery itself, that one's going to be challenging because people could be moving abroad from the US, from Canada, from, you know, anywhere. They could be moving, you know, abroad to another place. So because of that, maybe, you know, the map might not be the best move. So that might be one where you might have to lean on text for it, right? So that's where something like, you know, moving abroad or before you move or, you know, considering leaving the country or something like that, just try to keep the text as minimal as possible. But, you know, something like that so that you're actually reaching them in the way that they might be thinking about something or in the way that they might be, or by essentially presenting the experience to them, right? So I would definitely just kind of consider that when it comes to the thumbnails. And I would change this one out like right now. I would just A/B test it and just see if you can do that one better. I would A/B test this one like right now. I would swap that one out. And then morning walks in Poland. This is cool looking, by the way, in terms of the walks in Poland look super like chill. But one thing that might be helpful for you also, if you are doing a lot of Poland things, is here you have morning walks in Poland. So in order, and this sounds minor, but it matters. So it starts with morning. They got to get through that. They got to get through walks in and they got to get through Poland, right? They got to get through morning and walks in order to get down to Poland. So since thumbnails are made to grab at people's attention, and this isn't, it might grab some attention, but it's not going to like scream at people. Maybe putting like a Polish flag, like right down here in that corner, like right down there, might be the move there. And then that way, anybody that's interested in Poland in any capacity, that's going to, you know, grab their attention in addition to what's happening over on the other side, right? So I just experiment with that kind of stuff. But in terms of your titles, do this before you move overseas. That's fine. Exploring all neighborhoods in this area of Poland, also, you know, fine. What no one tells you about being black abroad. Like I think some of your titles are pretty good. But I would definitely start working on the imagery side of what it is that you're doing. Another thing too is I'm not sure what you're doing in the video content. But another thing that I would definitely do is I would start digging into your audience retention reports on some of the videos that do well. And even though you can't get tons of information off it because you've had like fewer people interact with the content, I would still look in your audience retention reports and just be like, hey, do I notice any patterns here? So with the people that I do have, interacting with the content, do I see any type of patterns here in terms of how I'm starting the videos and, things like that, so that you can start, kind of working on those things. So you can start working on those things as well. So staying in your office walls, or doing working abroad, or ballet, or Lipson. Here's to actually make that happen step by step. The first step is getting your mindset. Oh, great. You're getting right into it. Love that. Absolutely love that. Yeah, so that's good. But yeah, I would go in and just look at your retention, look at those things to make sure that you're, just providing the best experience. Like your thumbnails, like I think you're close. But I think that, you definitely need to dial in the thumbnails a bit. I think your titles are getting better. And then for the content, I would definitely, use your stats to guide you. Use your stats to guide you on that. So let's see here. Trying my best to catch up. I'm seeing a few Nick's videos and I found them useful. Thanks. It's Cardinal YT. What would benefit the channel is rating food shops and showing different products. Yeah, that can be advantageous. Like food is definitely a big part of, international life. Let's see here. Food raid. Yeah, just kind of looking through the comments right here, seeing what's going on. Nick, a globe with loads of lines from place to place. Yeah, something like that. Definitely solid. You just have to do it in a way to where it's visible at a small size. James Hicks, what's up, dude? Hope you're doing awesome. Let's see here. Dale, super sad. What's happening? Okay, just kind of looking through the comments here, seeing what's going on. Any advice on Christian content channels? You follow the same rules, right? Like, you have to. I'm the same way. So Monique says, true, but I'm not a fan of Polish food. I'm the same. I live in Thailand, but I'm not a fan of Thai food either. Like I have some stuff that I can go to as like my, hey, I need to eat something, that type of thing. But I'm not like I'm not like, oh, let's go grab some, Thai food. And I have a Thai, wife, also, and I wish that I did enjoy it more, but just the textures, all that stuff, it just doesn't vibe well with me, unfortunately. I know. Glenn Bites like, how can you not be a fan of Thai food? I know. That's what I get from like everybody that, that lives here, everybody that knows me. Like, yeah, I know. I know people love it. It's just not for me, unfortunately. So, okay. So, if you're just joining us, what we're doing is we are looking at YouTube channels. How this works is it's completely free for you. And all you have to do is I'm going to put a word up on the screen here. And all you have to do is just put that word into the chat. And then once you put that word into the chat, this tool that I'm using is going to start collecting, all of the usernames, and then it's going to randomly pick somebody based on that. So by putting your name in here, or by, putting that word in the chat, you are saying, hey, it's perfectly fine if you pull my channel up. You can be, say, if there's something I need to fix, that's fine. If something doing great, that's fine too. But you're basically giving me permission to go ahead and pull you up on screen and all of that good stuff. And because I got to say it, if you are just joining the stream, in case you haven't heard about it yet, I have an app that I put out called New Creator. Has all kinds of helpful tools for you as a content creator. Right now, it's currently only available for iPhone, but it's coming also as a web app and as an Android app as well. But make sure that if you haven't tried it yet, that you do try it. You can go to newcreator.app and check it out for yourself. You can also just look for New Creator in the App Store, and you can check it out. That way. But it'll help you write better titles, help you make better thumbnails because it gives you feedback. It's got checklists in there for uploading videos, that kind of stuff. Place to store all your video ideas, content calendar widgets that show up on your home screen. It'll send you alerts if you want it to when it's time to work on videos. It has a content calendar in there. as well. So like you can like fully, plan out your content and all of that stuff. And as you switch through different types of content, like let's say if you're doing a video, then you fill out certain information, but if you're doing a live stream, you fill out different information. And if you are planning like a short, then you give different information, that kind of stuff. But anyway, check it out at newcreator.app or by looking for it in the App Store. Okay, so here we go. Oh, wrong button. There we go. Drum roll's a little bit late, but Scratch and Spoon Lotto, you won the lotto. The channel review lotto. Yeah, you just got the lotto here. So let's go ahead and get that rolling. And let's go and pull your YouTube channel up as well and see what you got here. Boom, Scratch and Spoon Lotto. Okay, so first impressions first. Let's see what you are doing here. So Scratch and Spoon Lotto, Florida Lotto Scratchers. Pretty clear what it is that you are offering. Scratch and Spoon Lotto. Do whatever you like, of course. You got 12,000 subscribers, almost 13, so people are, enjoying your content. But I would put like a lotto ticket or something here, especially like if you are active on YouTube. I'm not sure if you are, but if you're active on YouTube, something that would be symbolic of, lottery here. And then, in comments and stuff like that, like here during the stream right now, if this was something lottery related that you saw here, plus your channel name, that's just a little bit more, impactful. But we have... 12 says the name. Yeah, so the name definitely does it without question, but that type of imagery can also be helpful. As we are looking at your channel page, one thing that I do want to just bring to your attention is first, this is super cool, but it'll cause people to leave your channel in favor of going to watch some of these, which you might be okay with that. If so, then you can leave them. If not, then I look at these as leaks off of the YouTube channel, because if somebody's coming to your home page, right? If they're coming here to this particular page, they're like interested in what it is that you're doing. They're watching more content. So either somebody shared your channel and they're coming in because of that, and they're like, hey, what's going on here? And they're looking around there, or they've clicked on one of your videos from, oops, wrong button. They've clicked on one of your videos, right? And then they clicked on your channel name, and then YouTube brings them here, right? Because they're like, hey, this is good. Let me go see what else they have. And then by doing that, you are essentially giving yourself the opportunity to send viewers into shorts content where, because you're already monetized, where in the short content, one, you're going to get less watch time overall. Two, you are also going to get less ad revenue from anybody that goes into these shorts. So because of that, I recommend to everyone that you get the short shelf off of your channel page. If people want shorts from you, they'll just click on the shorts tab and go there, right? So for the people that are on your channel page that are looking for more, make it super easy for them to find more of your long form content. And then if they want, shorts or live streams, and they can go and they can find that stuff. And then when it comes to shouting out channels, this is something you can definitely do, if you choose to, but keep in mind, if somebody's scrolling down here and they're like, oh, hey, let me go watch this Get Rich or Die Scratching, and they click on this, they might, enjoy this content, might not ever come back to your channel again, but YouTube's going to recommend it to them anyway. But the idea is that you just, this is just a leak to where they could watch one of your videos because, you use these spaces that YouTube gives you to cater your content or organize your content in a way to where it makes it easy for people to find content that they care about from you. But when you do this kind of stuff, you're making it easy for people to leave instead of watching, your content that they actually came here for. That's the idea. Okay, so next up. Hey, really cool. It's also cool that you have your member support thing up here too. Super cool. Okay. So let's see here. Cash and Spoon, I think your thumbnail definitely says lottery all over it. 100 session. Yeah, your thumbnails are pretty clear with the exception of this one because you've got the trees and this other stuff in here. I would focus less on the background graphics. I would make those less busy so that this just pops like crazy, because this is the thing right here that, that your viewers care about. The spoon stuff, for the people that are, into your content, I mean, it doesn't look like, they're coming back, that much. So because of that, maybe having that on there, isn't really doing much for you either. So because of that, I would move away from these backgrounds and just focus more on the, the strong imagery itself of this. So, maybe having like a white background, maybe with a little bit of texture on it, or a dark background with some texture on it, or putting this front and center, and then like putting the same thing behind it, but just blurring it. So it's just smooth that way. And then that way, the colors are right and all that stuff. And then it just kind of helps that, like really stand out. That would just be something that I would consider there. And like this one, it's kind of like this, right? So you can see here on this one, how, you have like the dark background, but that allows for these to really stand out. So you have these like little fun elements in here. But the thing that actually matters is just crystal clear, right? Just really stands out for you. So I would do a lot of this if you can. I'm actually curious. Let's look at your popular videos. Water stuff. Okay. So they haven't like blown up like too much. 14,000, no, not bad. But yeah, so even things like this, right? Like, I mean, this is 3 years ago, but I'd even experiment with like more stuff like this. Like, okay, if people, responded to like this layout, let me experiment with like this layout. I wouldn't do much of that face per se, but you can. But like when you have something that works, like leaning into it is definitely the move. But here, like it's clear that it's lottery, but it's kind of, being this other stuff is kind of distracting away from it. This one's also pretty clear that it's lottery. Yeah, I think your thumbnails are extremely busy, and I think they could be. I think you could benefit from simplifying your thumbnails. Like they look fun. Don't get me wrong. Like they look super fun, but they just seem like there's just so much going on that you don't really know like really where to look, right? Because there's just so much happening in the thumbnails. So yeah, so because of that, I would try to simplify them a little bit and just focus everything on like trying, because the whole channel is about scratching, right? About scratching the tickets. So like I would try to make everything just about the actual, scratch itself. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure. Let me try something here. So let me use this one. We're gonna use this as our A test. And then let's do lottery scratch. I spelled that wrong. Scratch off. Let's do that. Wow. Oh, the entire pack. Okay, so that's pretty compelling. Let's scroll down. So 204 views. Bought an entire pack. So it looks like the pack things gets a lot of views. Okay, then we start going down to the other stuff. Let's see here. Lottery scratch off channels, maybe. I'm just kind of looking to see if I can find like any type of pattern for your niche. But you can see here on the thumbnails for these how they're really focused on the tickets themselves. Okay, 12,000 views 2 weeks ago. Let's see if they consistently do that. Okay, so 46,000 subscribers. Yeah, these are a little bit busy too. So it looks like that busyness is kind of a theme here. Like symbol, massive lottery winner. Yeah, some of these have like a lot of views on them, but it looks like they're focusing like really big on the tickets themselves. But I think your thumbnails compete a lot with these. Theirs have more. Like you both have emotion. They have a better, like a higher quality image, and they don't have the distracting other thing in here. But like the clear focus on the ticket in the background, I think is good. But I think for lottery people, they probably, will see all this. But I think some things that are working against you is like all this extra stuff that you're doing, right? Like if you had like this image right here, if that was like big right over here, and then you had the big ticket right there, so you have the emotion in terms of like, did I win or not? And then you have the ticket over on this side. That might be something that was like, hey, person, emotion, and then ticket, right? So then you're making a lot of clear connections there. Let me click my way back. There we go. Okay, so Big Ticket Friday is back. 100% session, jackpot possibility, single match. Yeah, same thing in your situation. Like if possible, just try to, take some of your playlists and put them down in your video descriptions and stuff for people that want more. Same with your pinned comments. Those aren't going to be huge wins because you need volume, for those. But, over time, as your archive builds, people watch more content, things like that, it definitely adds up. When it comes to the videos, 8-hour session, 20 cash money right here, trying something different with multi-cameras. Let's see if I can get it to work. Yeah, so things like this too, right? Like here, you're like trying something different with multi-cameras. Let's see if I can get it to work. So one thing that I would definitely do when it comes to things like this is just get right into the content itself, right? So leave some of the, like if you do personality stuff, that stuff can be okay, but I wod do it a little bit farther back and focus more on, the lottery tickets, building up the hype, maybe even tell like a quick story about the tickets. Like, hey, almost didn't get them this week or, whatever the thing is. I went and picked up, this many of them, because, and then give them some reason, of why you do it, something they can connect with, and then, and then get into the scratching and all that stuff. Might be something to consider. What is that? Oh, okay. But yeah, like you can see some of that stuff in your retention though. Like if you go and you study your audience retention on like some of your better videos, you'll see where things like, like those interruptive things in the beginning can work against you sometimes. So I would just, double check on those things. But yeah, I would say thumbnails though, I would just experiment, see if it makes a difference for you or not when it comes to that. So the next word that we're going to have here in honor of Spoon here and the lottery is we're going to do lotto. That's a good word. So all you have to do, if you're just joining the stream, if you want me to pull up your channel, put the word lotto into the chat right now. And then this tool that I'm using is going to pick a random person and pull them up. And then we'll pull up their channel and see what's going on there. All right. Okay, so here we go. We're 55. Bam, we're going to go ahead and pull it. Denise Smith Creative. All right, here we go. Here we go, Denise. We're going to go ahead and pull up Denise here, see what Denise has got going on. Hope you got something good for us, Denise. Let's see what you got. Denise Smith Creative. For some reason, I'm thinking I've had you up here before. Maybe not. Okay, so for this, channel art, something nice and creative. You don't have any text there, so it kind of forces people to come down here and look and see what's going on. I think that's okay. Denise Smith Creative. I will be doing watercolor tips, painting. Okay, this isn't super important. This is just how my brain works, so it's just a little nuance, and I'm just going to share it with you real quick. So see right here where it says, I will be doing watercolor tips and paintings and sketchbook practice. Like you're doing it. Right? You're like 1.6 thousand subscribers, 407 videos. Like you're not gonna be doing anything. Like you're doing it. you're doing the thing, Denise. So yeah, so I would go in there and update that. So it's like, I'm, on this channel, or learn, or, something like that, learn watercolor tips and paintings and sketchbooks, best practices, whatever. I would definitely just kind of update that because you're doing the thing, Denise. So as we look at your YouTube channel itself, okay, the popular videos, got a couple recent ones in here. That's okay. Curated playlist. That's good. Short, same thing here in your case. I would get the shorts off of your channel page so that you can send people into the long form content just for, the ad rates and things like that. For the people that are interested in shorts, they can find all that stuff there. And then let's go to your videos tab. Actually, there's one thing I want to look at here really quick. Yeah, so you have 407 videos. I'm not sure how many of those are like long form. Yeah, you got a lot. So one thing that I would also do is I would just organize some of these into playlists. So the idea when you're doing this is you want to go into your YouTube analytics. on the very first page, you scroll down the page, and you're going to see the list of videos that are currently bringing in the viewership. So you see the top videos that are bringing in viewership into your channel. So look at those videos and then ask yourself, okay, out of these videos, what are these people likely to be interested in, starting at the top, right? So the video that's bringing in the most people to the channel over the last, 28 or 90 days, for those people, like what is it that, content wise, what is it that they want, that they might respond to? So let's say it's like watercolor content. Then in that case, let me make sure that I make some playlists based on watercolor, move those to, closer to the top of my channel page underneath my recent videos, so that as they hit my channel page, that they'll see my recent stuff to see that I'm active, and then possibly go into those and enjoy that content. But also they will find that content as fast as possible that they have proven that they are interested in, right? That's the idea. So I would definitely do that. What you did with the playlist of playlists, like this is a good move here. But I would actually, get these broken down into playlists on your channel page. So basically you would have, like watercolor reviews, and then, a list of videos going over there, watercolor comparison videos, and then have, a list of those going across, that kind of stuff. And keep in mind when it comes to playlists too, and this is a tip for everyone, is you can see here that you have comparison videos. So when it comes to playlists, you want to think about, your viewers, giving them context, all of that. So comparison videos is okay. It's telling people that it's comparison videos, so you're doing the right thing. But, watercolor materials comparison videos or watercolor comparison videos, that type of thing. It's just a little bit more descriptive, adds a little bit more context. And sometimes playlists can show up when people are searching for things on YouTube as well. So then if people are searching for things and you have a playlist around that, then it can lead people in your playlist and kind of create that extra traffic source for you. Those aren't like, like all those things that I just mentioned about, like those minor naming things and stuff like that, not going to be a huge thing to move the needle for you. Just as a quick reminder to everybody here, like looking at the channels, getting everything optimized is smart, because as your channel scales, it allows for you to be able to absorb that traffic and make the most out of all those viewers that are interacting with your channel. However, just as a quick reminder, the thing that moves the needle for you is understanding what it is you're trying to do with your channel, understanding the people that you're trying to serve with your YouTube channel, and learning how to package up your videos in a way that they can identify them easily and respond to them in terms of they're compelled to click. And then from there, the actual video content itself and, how people are responding to that. That's the stuff that moves the needle for you. These are just all little like optimization things that add up over time. Okay. That's why I look at all this, and then we go to the videos tab like I'm going to do right now. Okay, so my art supply addiction led to something insane. Okay, so here you have, was it worth it? And we'll make this a little bit bigger. So here you have, was it worth it? And then you have my art supply addiction led to something insane. So this is an interesting title, really interesting title, actually. However, the imagery, I think the imagery doesn't serve this title. So here you have, was it worth it? And in order for this to make any sense to somebody at a glance, which is really important when it comes to home pages and suggested videos, they have to know what this is down here already, and they have to be able to identify it. At a glance, this just looks like a pamphlet or something like that, because you can't really see the brand name in there. Like right now you can, because I have it huge up on my screen. But as soon as we take it down here, you can't read it. Right. So granted, right now, YouTube is making ginormous. They're testing just huge thumbnails to where you have like 2 columns of thumbnails on a homepage. So in that case, some of those people are going to be able to read it. But again, that's where you're going to have to be very specific to, or that's where you're going to have to know that brand name in that particular case and exactly what those things look like. So because of that, let me just kind of see what you have going on in your video. Yeah, something like this might be better. So if you're not A/B testing right now, which I don't think that you are, because this showed up big, which normally if you're A/B testing, it'll show up small first, and then I have to hit the refresh and it'll show up big. So I'm just going to click in here, and I'm just going to kind of show you what I mean here. Let me scroll. Get out some pencils, maybe. No, yeah, you got that. Okay, so as somebody that does watercolor, and I'll ask this question directly from you. Oh, that's why. As somebody that does watercolor, would this with a bunch of text on it grab your attention more a text that just says, I think it was like, I made a mistake or something like that. Would that grab your attention more? Or would this grab your attention more if you saw it on a homepage? And then from there, would that grab your attention more? Or would this, or would this grab your attention more, right? So the idea is to think about, okay, if I'm trying to connect with people that are interested in watercolor or, the content that I'm making around art, what can I do or what kind of imagery can I use to where when they log onto YouTube, and I'll just do it here real quick. So when they log onto YouTube and YouTube is presenting this huge grid of content to people, what can I do to where as they're scrolling through, it's going to stand out to that user who's interested in those things, right? Like for example, right? We're all interested in YouTube here. So we can all agree on this particular one. Kevin Colby's thumbnail right here, at a glance, it grabs your attention. As I was scrolling down this page, right? I see a lot of stuff that I'm interested in. The Nano Banana thing definitely stood out to me as well. But as I'm scrolling down, this YouTube play button grabbed my attention more than anything else. And that's because I'm super obsessed with YouTube, right? And a lot of you, I'm sure, are as well. So for me, just by having this big logo in here that's like, whoa, what is this? Doesn't mean I'm going to watch the video. I might. Kevin's awesome. But with this, it grabs my attention. By the way, you guys should subscribe to Kevin, especially if you're like an over 40 creator, because that's who he specializes in. But basically, when it comes to, his particular thumbnail, it just stands out, it grabs my attention so that I just give it a little bit more time than the other thumbnails that we were looking at on the page, right? So the idea is that when you are making your thumbnails, try to think about, okay, that target person that I'm trying to reach. If I could just use one image, which is, what you use, unless, you're A/B testing, like what would help the person understand that this might be for them immediately at a glance when it's being shown next to a bunch of other videos that YouTube thinks that person's going to like, right? Because and this one grabs my attention too. So like in that case, if you are taking that approach, then when YouTube is showing your watercolor content, Denise, when YouTube is showing your watercolor content next to another video that's watercolor content or art related content, then you're going to be able to compete there. Whereas if you are showing them this, was it worth it? You're going to have a harder time competing there, right? So the whole idea is just thinking, okay, imagery. What is going to help people that are interested in art easily identify, or if you're a gamer, for everybody else, if you're a gamer, what's going to help somebody that's interested in gaming identify that this is about this particular game? That's usually a large character in the thumbnail. If you're into music and you're making music content, what is going to help people identify this is about music? Probably an instrument, or, if it's like digital music, maybe some type of like software interface, something like that. If you are talking about crypto, what's going to help somebody, recognize that? Probably, like a Bitcoin logo or logos from some of the other, crypto things. If you're like a tech channel, what's going to help people recognize that? Probably a phone or some other type of tech, right? And just thinking, how can I focus in on that? If you're a foodie, like Daryl X Dines right here that just came into the chat, what's up, my dude? Hope you're doing awesome. Then in that case, let me focus on the food, right? And then by doing those things, it just helps you be able to easily grab the attention of the people that you're trying to reach on YouTube. But those types of changes can make a big difference. And like here, you have like the easy watercolor flowers. I think that one's good because, you have the white, you're using the black text on the white, stands out, big time. The flowers look cute, all that stuff. So I think that's good. I think this is good, when it comes to the thumbnail imagery. So it's just this particular one that I'm picking on just because, it's the most recent video. But, a lot of these that you're doing are okay. So I just want to make that super clear. I'm just trying to... through all of the things that I'm saying right now, I'm just trying to help emphasize the importance of that type of, thing when it comes to, grabbing their attention with that imagery. So now let's go into the video. So a few things, and if you haven't done this yet, make sure that you do. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, so just some little nuanced things that... I have a video on my YouTube channel. I think it's probably somewhere within the last 10 videos, maybe 15, It's a long form video, but it's not that long. I think it might be like 8 minutes or something, but it's called How to Start Your YouTube Videos, I believe. And on that particular video, I talk about these types of things. Hey, everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be, doing this. Like those types of things, even though it might seem like it doesn't matter, like, hey, I'm being nice. I'm welcoming people back to my channel, that whole thing. What you're doing right there is you're using those very important seconds when somebody first comes into the channel with stuff that isn't giving them any context of anything that's going to be going on with the channel, right? Or with the video. So if you want to say this kind of thing, do it after you let people know what it is that you're going to be sharing with them in the video and all that stuff. So we call that the hook. So once you are finished with the hook and you get them, to where they're like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I want to, see that or participate in that or learn that or whatever the thing is. Then in that case, that's where if you're like, oh, hey, by the way, welcome back, blah, blah. But even with the welcome back, that's one where, it's kind of exclusion for people that aren't participating in the channel on a regular basis, but it's cool for people that do. But this is where you might want to go into your stats and go and say, look at your new viewers versus your returning viewers versus your casual viewers and say, okay, do I have tons of people coming back? Or am I getting in front of more new people, or is there a nice balance? And then that also helps you with that language too, because for a new person, that doesn't mean much, right? Welcome back, to the channel, and even the hey everybody, right? It adds personality though for the hey everybody, but let them know what you're doing first, and then do that kind of stuff if you're gonna do it. So light. I watched a couple of videos in this unboxing, so I kind of know what might be in here. Gosh, from Illinois, so I'm not exactly sure what this is all about. I seen it on Facebook, it wasn't in the store. Yeah, so I like how you're telling this story. So one thing that I would also do is I would go in and, like with some of the view counts, you're not going to be able to get much information. But one thing that I would do though is I would go in and just kind of look around your audience retention to see if you notice anything that's obvious. Like when I'm doing these types of things, people are leaving. For the videos that don't have a lot of views on them yet, for those, you're not going to be able to get as much information. But like for these that have like 1,000 views on them, just going in and looking at those and looking at the topic, like what was I doing, for this. You have here to where what's your take on this person's, ochres. I'm not sure how to say that. But like when it comes to that type of stuff, just going in there and being like, okay, was it the topic? What was I doing in the thumbnail here? What was the structure of the video? How did I, intro the video? What did I do after I entered the video, and so on? And just try to look for, those patterns so that you can repeat them if possible. And really quick, scratch and spoon. Oop, wrong button.
Super chat.
Thank you for super chat. Appreciate it. It says lots of great advice. Many blessings to you. Hopefully I will see some of you on the next scratch. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so yeah, so there's that, 2 colors and any brush. Okay, so other things, and then we'll move on to another channel. But here, this is another one to where 2 colors and any brush. You do have the watercolor language in here, so you're fine, with that. It's crystal clear that it's about watercolor. But this is like a more of a platform / viewer thing. So here, having like 2 colors in any brush, question mark, and then putting something in here like, is this the best for, water, color paintings or something along those lines, right? But just trying to get the watercolor text in there as well, just so that when people see it, it's clear up there. It's about watercolor. YouTube's going to detect that too, because it does look at what's written on the thumbnails. But having that in there so that if people are searching for those things and that kind of stuff, that can be advantageous of getting that into the actual title itself. And then, of course, you're doing the good thing here of, putting, videos down into your video description, all that stuff. You're taking the right approach there. Love that you got affiliate links going out to the stuff that you're doing so you can, generate revenue from this. All of that is fantastic. Okay, so we'll go on to the next channel here. Okay, so next up on the list, we are going to do watercolor. I mean, you guys should have seen that one coming, right? We'll do watercolor with no S. So in order to get your channel pulled up, all you gotta do is put the word watercolor into the chat right now. And if you put the word watercolor into your chat, then what's going to happen is this tool that I'm using right now is going to randomly select somebody. And then we will pull them up on screen and get their stuff looked at here. Okay, so Doug mentioned that I missed another one here. So let me see if I can get Streamsy rolling. Do, 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 do. Come on, please work this time. All right, it's working. Okay. Nope, it's not working. Okay. So let's see here. So I'm not sure what the super chat from Grande Photo said. Actually, you know what? I did see that one. That one was about using YouTube promotions. I did see that one. Okay, so first, really quick, on using YouTube promotions to answer that question. So when it comes to YouTube promotions, one of the things that you want to think about is you want to first make sure that you can get an organic response on YouTube without spending any money. What people commonly do is they will start YouTube channels and they will use YouTube promotions to try to bypass or shortcut the process of learning how to get an organic response. And because of that, what happens is as soon as they turn off the ad spend, everything dries up and everything that they just spent money on completely disappears because they haven't learned how to get people to respond organically. They haven't learned how to make good video decisions in terms of the ideas for the videos, haven't learned to package them, haven't learned how to keep people watching, all that. So because of that, let's say that you do an ad spend and you have, 1,000 people subscribe to your YouTube channel. Well, in that particular case, when you publish your next video, you still have to be able to get those people to respond to what it is that you published. And if you don't, then it's not going to help you in any way, shape, or form. So because of that, I recommend that people do not use YouTube promotions unless you have something to promote. So like if you are a business owner or something like that, or you have something to sell, in that case, that's where the promotions tool, it basically is a simplified version of Google Ads. So that's where that tool comes in. But if you're using it to try to grow your YouTube channel, I would avoid that at all costs. And by the way, if you don't know yet, as you can see right here in this graphic, and if you're watching the short shelf down here, I have an app called New Creator. If you have an iPhone and you're a YouTuber, you're going to absolutely love this app. It's available for iPhone and it's on the iPad as well. It's the only creator app of its kind that is actually designed also to be on the iPad instead of just putting a phone version over there. But it'll help you write better titles, make better thumbnails, helps you organize all your video ideas. It has a content planner in terms of, making sure that, you're kind of planning out what you're publishing. And as a part of the content planner, there's a bunch of awesome questions in there, or not questions, but there's fields in there to where it just makes you kind of think about, the things that you're doing. So for example, when you put in like the title of your video, as you keep going down, there's like a thumbnail field and it's like, hey, put in your thumbnail idea. So right there, when you're planning your content, it kind of prompts you to do the right thing, which is, as long as your content supports it, come up with your thumbnail idea before you actually make the video. So then that way, when you make the video, you can ensure that you're matching the expectation that you created with the thumbnail and title, right? So just all kinds of little helpful things like that in there too. But you can try it for yourself at newcreator.app, or you can look for New Creator in the App Store. And also, I'm trying to make it the best app for content creators. So if you have any feedback at all, there's a form that you can access via the homepage. There's like two icons up in the top right. If you click on the one, then you'll see a big button that says submit feedback. I'm trying to make it as good as possible. So if you have feature ideas, if you're like, hey, I was using this, but it would be better if it did this, or if it worked this way, just let me know. And I'm like, what I'm doing is I'm taking feedback that people are giving me, and I'm making those modifications to make it better. So any feedback, I'm totally open to it. All right, so here we go. And I hit that too early, so we're gonna hit it again. Comic Journey is the next channel here on our list. Comic Journey. Let's get this party started. Okay, that's Comic Journey 4. I don't know if it's the same. I don't think it is. Filters, channel. Comic Journey 1, Comic Journey right here. You know, I need to make this pull in the avatar. Let me look for Comic Journey to make sure this is the right one. Let's see here. Comic Journey. Comic Journey, if you don't mind, could you just say something in the chat really quick so that I can get you here? I just wanted to make sure that I have the right channel pulled up before we start digging in. I did one when Daryl was on last Saturday. For those of you that watch the Niman live stream that we do. Daryl Eves was in there last Saturday, just giving all kinds of just amazing information. And during that stream, we pulled up a channel and it was the wrong channel. And we basically were just looking at somebody else's channel, because in that form where that people fill out to look at that, I have like list your channel and list a competitor channel if they're, you know, wanting feedback, you know, in that way. And I pulled up, it was my fault. I pulled up the competitor channel instead. Okay, Comic Journey. Okay, yeah, so this one was it. Great. Okay, yeah, so we got you. Okay, so Comic Journey, thank you for saying awesome in the chat, because that helped me be able to pull it up. Okay, so Comic Journey. Recently, my son resigned for reignited the love I once had for a comic book hobby. Super cool. Love that you're adding, like, you know, your kind of story to that. I think that's cool. Let's see here. So on your channel page, just like everybody else, what I was saying before, I would definitely get your shorts off of your channel page, especially. You know, you guys got 5,000 subscribers on your channel. You know, every person that goes into here, you're getting those lower ad rates from them. So because of that, I would just put them into the longer form content and let them find your shorts through the shorts tab right here. As we go down here, you've got 1,000 videos. I would also get more videos organized onto your channel page as well. I would use your community posts more actively, because as you can see right here, YouTube's putting them down here. And as people, you know, see this, it just shows that you're active. It literally takes, like, if you sit there in front, because you can schedule your community posts. So if you sit at your computer and your phone and you're scheduling out community posts, like, you can ask questions, throw polls in there, things like that. But it's really cool because it gives you the opportunity to just get a lot of feedback from people on, you know, all kinds of different stuff. So you know, you can ask questions, like in your case, about like their favorite comic books, about, you know, comic books they wished were different. Hey, do you go after more like superhero comic books or more like of other kind of comic books, like that kind of stuff? Like, you can really have all kinds of fun. And in addition to that fun, it really helps you get a better understanding of the people that you are making content for. So for everybody here, since YouTube has added this, I would definitely start posting here on a regular basis, and just think about, like, you know, like how can I post here to connect with the people that are watching my videos, because we're all interested in the same thing, right? So let me use it that way. And then also, you know, are there any, you know, questions or, you know, anything like that that I can poll people with to, you know, get more information about what they enjoy and what they care about. And you can also share things, like in your case, if you have comic books and stuff, then, you know, posting pictures of your comic books and, you know, things like that that they can get into. That's just a whole other way to engage with the people that are interacting with your content. And then you can also add videos and, you know, that kind of stuff as well. But in your case, 1,000 videos, I would get more of those videos here in playlists onto your channel page. But let's talk about the most important stuff, which is the videos themselves. So I'm just going to click on this, see what it is that you're doing here. Okay, so I would not do this. You probably, I mean, you don't have a lot of views on this, so you probably won't see much. But yeah, you don't want to do this type of thing when you first start the video. Let me see what else is in here. Hold on. Yeah, careful using this stuff too, right? Like, I'm not sure exactly how you're using some of this, but yeah, you got to be really careful when you're using content that you don't own, like this, like Archie Bunker. Like, a lot of people will use things like this for, like, supportive, to where, like, let's say you crack a joke and then you crack that joke, or you say something and then you bring in like a popular thing like this that people can connect with, and you use it as a way to kind of support what it is that you said. So, like, let's say you say something and you have Archie Bunker come in and say something, you know, it's just kind of funny, that kind of supports the idea. That's not fair use. If you made a video and that whole video was about, I can't remember the name of the show that he was in, but if you had a video that was talking about like all the different aspects of the show and things like that, that might fall under fair use. But using it in, as supportive things. Another example, let's say you tell a joke and then you cut into like Will Ferrell laughing about something in his elf costume or something like that. Then in that particular case, all in the family, thank you. Then in that particular case, that's also not fair. That's not fair use. So you can like really get yourself into some hot water there. And like once, like, I mean, your channel's already big, 5,000 subscribers is already like a big channel. It's a lot of people. But when it comes to, the efforts that you're going to put into this over the years, you don't want to get it to like 100,000 subscribers and then come and get like 6 copyright claims from whoever owns the rights to this. And then they end up taking your whole channel down and you'll lose everything. Right. So I would just be very mindful about, trying not to do that sort of thing. Also, it looks like you guys aren't even in the videos. Okay. Yes, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're doing with the content here. Not mad, I'm not. Applause. What is this? Toxic Avenger. That's what the kids are calling him, I think. Take this mop, shove it down your throat. Toxic Avenger, look out. Who the blank are you? The Toxic Adventure, different kind of hero. Okay, yeah. So with this, one thing that you might want to consider is maybe just setting up the video a little bit. I mean, you get right into like the entertainment side of it, which I think is good. But I would experiment if you haven't yet, because you've been going for a while. You got 1,000 videos. So I would definitely experiment with a little bit about, maybe setting up the video a little bit, letting people know what it is you're going to be talking about. But if this is if this has worked for you in the past, then, keep going with this. But yeah, I would definitely try to set this up. Definitely try to set this up a little bit. Tuning, for events, WTF. Yeah, like there, right? You see where I don't know if that was you on camera, but I'm just seeing if you're kind of doing the same. Okay, the comic that started it all, Action Comics Superman. Okay, so yeah, it looks like you're just using like a lot of images and stuff. That's fine. Having a faceless channel is perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that at all. Oh, is this just like music? Music, heat, music. I appreciate your input. Yeah, so not sure. Yeah, what's going on with the actual content on this particular one. But what I would definitely do, because, like there is like meme content and stuff like that. It's perfectly fine. But one thing that I would definitely do, though, is I would just think about with every video, like, if somebody comes into this that's interested in, you do get a lot of copyrights. Okay. Yeah, so it's like if somebody that's interested in comic books, if they come into this, how can I make this as good as possible and have, make it to where they can have a good experience with this content. And then try to make some type of consistent experience for them. Cause it seems like these, I mean, out of 1,000 videos, I'm not sure, the experiments that you've done and whatnot, but I would definitely, work really hard on just thinking about the viewer experience when they come into the content. Because the reason I'm saying this is because, you're talking about a popular thing, which is comic books, super popular. And if you're talking about something popular, but it's not getting, a good response, then in that particular case, it's probably the video content. So because of that, I would definitely go in, if you're trying to, like actively, grow the channel and all that stuff, then in that case, I would definitely try to go and look at other comic channels and be like, what are they doing? How are they, packaging things up when they start their videos? How do they start their videos? That kind of stuff, so that you can just get an idea of like a basic structure that people that are into comic books typically respond to, right? That's the goal. So I would definitely do that sort of thing when it comes to your channel. All right, let's do another one here. And really quick, also Build and Fix with Mooney says, hey, thanks for telling me to stick with the grind on YouTube. I never thought I'd be making substantial money with shorts, longs, and YouTube sales. The grind is a little easier now. Yeah, so he posted that earlier, so pardon my delay on mentioning that. But congratulations to you. It's been awesome seeing your progress along the way. Okay, so now we are going to do, let's see if anybody guessed it. It's going to be comics. So comics is going to be the word. So all you have to do is put comics into the chat. Al Glavinos, what's going on? Hope you are doing great. Says you launched an AI influencer. Once you hit the millions, everyone sees these make. I'll pop over and take you and D. Oh, what'd you say? It's getting lost here. Pop over and take you and D to dinner. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Okay, so we got comics coming in. Wait for these entries to stack up here a little bit. And in the meantime, just as a quick reminder, I do have an app for YouTubers. If you haven't tried it yet, I got it linked like right here. You can see the thing. If you are watching the landscape stream, if you're watching the vertical, you can see it right up here. Helps you with all kinds of stuff with YouTube. Go check it out. It's called New Creator. You can find out more at newcreator.app. I drink some water. Oh, Build and Fix with Mini. Awesome. I thought you left already. Okay, so here we go. Okay, we're at 50, so we're going to go ahead and get this thing spinning.
Let's get this thing spinning.
The Dugout Football Channel. All right, let's see if you're doing like American football or international football. Let's see what you're doing here. AKA soccer. Dugout Football Channel. Looks like you're doing soccer. All right. So let's see here. Let's see what you got. Dugout Football Channel, Dugout Stats, Predictions, and Match Reviews. So just a heads up. I mean, keep in mind, most people that are going to be seeing this, they're going to be coming from one of your videos. So it's going to be obvious that it's about soccer. But having some type of soccer imagery or saying, you know, football stats, predictions, match reviews, something like that. This is fine. How it is, it's fine. But, you know, if you wanted to just, you know, nail it with somebody laying on the channel page, making that type of change is definitely something to consider. Ooh, that water came down kind of interesting there. Okay, so let's see what you got going on. Okay, you're using like the club logos, all that stuff is good. You've got the players here, prediction show, all of that is good. It's crystal clear that you're talking about football. On this one, it's going to be challenging on a smaller screen for this one right here. So just, you know, it might be more advantageous to put a big soccer ball over here instead of you, just so that if somebody sees this in suggested videos, it kind of stands out to them, you know, a little bit. For home pages, though, I think this is good because you have like the stadium back there and then all the logos. So for home pages, I think that's good. But for suggested videos, I would definitely try to make that a little bit more, you know, clear just for when it's displayed at a small size. William Hill Scottish Premier predictions. Yeah, I think the imagery that you're using for the most part, you know, maybe not this one, you know, so much, but for the most part, you know, a majority of your thumbnails, I think, are clear that it's about football. So I think you're good there. Predictions, week 3, get like first live streams in Livingston and more. Champ prediction. So welcome more. So one thing that and this is a really common mistake when it comes to, oh my, we'll talk about that next. But the one thing that's a really common mistake when it comes to YouTube, oh, they're small, is optimizing around the show instead of optimizing around what the person cares about that you're trying to reach. So right here, you have the champ prediction show. And that's the thing that's being focused on here. You've got a prediction show up here, and then you have the champ prediction show here. But people have to kind of pay attention in order to see the actual information that's important here. So because of that, when it comes to best practices, and YouTube actually has information about this as well. Yeah, right now, Urban Van Life, it's 12:08 p.m. Or a.m. I'm sorry, 12:08 a.m. Over here. But basically here, I like it's best practice to put the important stuff first. So Norwich City in here, even though the thumbnail is small here, let's see if this one's small too. Yeah, it is. Too bad. Okay, so best practice, just to show you here, is to take this. If you want to put it in there, take that, delete it out. Newcastle versus Liverpool. Week 2, you probably don't even need that in there. But if you did, a little bit of a space here just for readability, and then another bar if you choose to do that, and then put it here, right? So then that way, the thing that matters to people is the first thing that they see. And then if they need this for context, that's fine. And then having the prediction show there. But based on what's happening right here with the, the views and stuff, like the preem prediction show isn't, pulling in lots of people. So I would definitely, readjust all of this stuff so that it is more focused on the thing that the viewers care about more so than the branding for the show. And then by doing that, it's going to give you the ability to just connect with them easier at a glance when this shows up on home pages and suggested videos. The next thing I want to talk about is this. So yes, people will skip, and you can look in your audience retention, you'll see that people skip this. But when it comes to replays on YouTube, you want to cut off the countdown. So if you have a countdown before the stream, YouTube has a built-in editor. You want to go in and you want to cut that editor, use that editor to start the video at the place that the stream actually starts. And then if you're trying to be really strategic with these, another thing that you can do is when you are starting the stream itself, make sure that you start it with like a good hook, because that's what people are going to be seeing on the replay. So then that way you go in, you cut off that countdown. And then when you cut off the countdown, then when the replay viewer comes in, it starts on, hey, Norwich and Middlesbrough, are playing, or, they just finished the game, or, whatever the thing is, or they're getting ready to play. And we're going to be, giving our predictions on what, blah, blah, blah. And you do all that stuff like as soon as the video first starts, so that when you cut the countdown timer off, then when the replay viewer, after the content is complete, when the replay viewer comes in, they're getting more of a video-like experience, which is what's expected, when you click on, content on YouTube. So I would definitely, without question, do that. And Jerry Popandrea, or Derry X Dines right here, he also mentions, make sure the video fills the frame also. To where you have like this, let me make sure it's not like a transition. Yeah, it's not. To where you have the frame right here, and then you have like the blue background, like just fill that puppy up, right? So that as they come in, and just throughout the video, it feels more like they're on like a Zoom call, instead of it, feeling like it's, got this stuff, going around the edges of it. All right. Okay, so we are about 2 hours in right now. So just as a quick reminder, if you haven't yet, make sure that you do check out my iPhone app that I made for YouTubers. It's available in the App Store. I got a web app and an Android version coming soon, not available yet. But if you want to check it out and you have an iPhone or an iPad, you can do so here. You can go to newcreator.app and you can check that out. Right as soon as I finish this stream, Andrew Can and Danielle from TubeSpanner, they're doing a live stream right now about titles, I think it is. But as soon as I hit the button here to end the stream, then it's going to send you over to that. So if you're interested in learning about titles, things like that, then make sure that you check out their stream. Andrew, by the way, who is in that live stream, he's doing most of the content there. He built the TubeBuddy channel. He's done a lot of work for the Disney's YouTube channel, as well as a bunch of other like major YouTube channels on YouTube. So he really knows his stuff when it comes to YouTube. So if you want to learn more about that, then as soon as I hit to end the stream here, it's going to automatically send you over to their stream. But I do want to remind you, if you didn't get your channel pulled up here today, the things that I did mention to the other channels, just ask yourself, hey, do these things that he's saying, can I apply some of these things to my channel? And if you do want your channel pulled up, next time, that I have one of these streams, make sure that you swing by so you can come and, check it out and, possibly get your channel pulled up. And besides that, I'm live streaming tomorrow with my brother D, where we answer YouTube questions. With that, it's also free for you. And basically, you just put your questions into a form, and then we answer them in the order that they're received. But we start that stream at 9 a.m. Eastern, and we finish that stream at 10, 11, 12 noon Eastern. So if you're interested in that, then come and check out for that. If you enjoyed this and you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button, all of that good stuff. And have a great rest of your weekend. I hope you found the stream helpful.